Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than I'm normally doing around here, which is trying to actually explain what I thought is going on in a music video. So today we're going to be looking at GFRIEND's Time for the Moon Night, which was just released today. And yeah, I'm going to try and walk you guys through what my thought process is throughout this whole video, and I'll try to explain what I think is going on theoretically. Alright, so before we get into the actual video here, I'm just going to state outright what my premise is, and then I'll go through the video and show you guys my evidence that supports this premise in theory. So my thoughts are that Eunha and Sinbi are actually dead in this music video, and the video actually plays out the other girls dying as well, metaphorically, and meeting them in the afterlife. So that's the basic premise of what I think is going on, and now I'm about to show you guys why I think that. The opening bit of this music video kind of just explains what each girl is going through and what they are doing in the exact moment that everything starts at. So here's how this plays out. Alright, so the music video starts off with Eunha kind of just staring outside this window. She's by herself in this room, and there's nothing else around her really, just this room, her in this white gown kind of thing, which oftentimes is kind of like a ghostly kind of look. So already I'm getting the ideas of the afterlife kind of theory here. Next up we have Sowon, who kind of looks like she's resting her head against like a window or something, and she's about to close her eyes here. And this is actually kind of important to my theory. I personally think that when the girls close their eyes and they go to sleep, it's supposed to represent them actually passing on. So when we see Sowon do this right here in the beginning of the video, she is the first to actually pass on after Sinbi and Eunha already have. We get shots of Sinbi walking down this road by herself. I personally believe that this is the beginning of her journey into looking for Eunha after she's passed into the next life, if you will. We see Yuju trekking through the woods. We know that she's got some flowers and a present with her. Eumji's probably the most interesting thing in the video, as she's kind of just playing with these letters that aren't exactly clear if you don't catch the meaning immediately, but we'll get to that. So here's where Sowon wakes up. And in my opinion, this is when she first wakes up in the afterlife. She's passed on, and now she's in the same realm as Eunha and Sinbi. We see that Yaren is absolutely distraught, staring at this box full of old things. Now, this shot of Eunha is one that I actually believe to be from the past, but irregardless of when it is from, she's staring into this jar full of fish. I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is kind of supposed to be like the fish in a bowl metaphor, which technically just means kind of like you're trapped. It means that you're stuck, and that's basically the idea. So she's stuck in this afterlife, and she can't get out of it. Next up, we see Eumji sitting atop some monkey bars, throwing these letters down, and this is an important part as well. I personally believe that it's her symbolically throwing these letters downward, trying to reach the members that are dead. She is trying to communicate with them. She's trying to tell them things. This theory is kind of weird because if you pause the video and look at what the letters actually say or are, there's a lot of drawings of like trees and birds, or she has like "I love mommy" written on there. So I'm not really sure about that kind of stuff. I don't know if they expected people to pause it or not, but this still is my theory, so you know, probably I'm wrong. But still, she's throwing these letters down. She's trying to reach these members that are already dead. That's what she's up to. We get a few more developments with Yuju going through this forest still, Yaren opening up that box and revealing some sort of tape recorder that has some sort of recording on it. She immediately starts tearing up after hearing what's on this tape, whatever that may be. I assume some sort of conversation between her and her friends, because what happens next is a flashback of them running into some sort of weird building and then hanging out. They just hang out. This next set of shots is actually kind of important, because if you look right here, you'll see that Eunha and Sinbi are actually on the couch together. And this kind of gives some credence to my theory that perhaps Eunha died first, and Sinbi was the next to go. She followed her into the afterlife. That's my theory. And if you see them sitting on the couch together, they seem like they're closer together than the rest of the members are with one another. They're all kind of paired off. So my theory is that Sinbi was very close with Eunha, and when Eunha passed in this music video, she followed her into the afterlife. Sowon was next, and we'll keep going from there. This shot of Sowon tucking Yeren and Yuju in is kind of important too. You'll see here that she kisses Yeren on the head, which generally people do when someone passes. That's their way of saying goodbye. Or when they go to sleep too. But in this case, it's for passing. She says goodbye to her, or in this case, she kind of welcomes her to the afterlife. She kind of ushers her in a sweet and soft, kind of caring way. We then see this shot of Eumji finally jumping down from the monkey bars. I personally believe this is symbolic of her being ready to finally jump into the afterlife with everybody else. She's tired of being alone. She's tired of trying to get these messages across to them, and instead she's just going to go there herself. This is the scene that really made me think all of this, because Yuju lays on this pile of rocks. She seems very sad. It's obviously supposed to be symbolic of a grave. She's brought these flowers to it. She's brought a gift with her, and this is the part where Yuju falls asleep now, and now all the members have either fallen asleep or have passed in another way into the afterlife. This is immediately apparent when Eunha's here by herself, and all of a sudden everybody appears behind her. She seems surprised, but she also seems very happy to see everybody behind her, and it seems kind of like a happy reunion sort of feel. If you'll notice here when they're running through the field, there's absolutely nothing else here. Even the trees in the far back look dead or dying, and there's no sign of any animals or anything. It's just the girls, and it's a very bleak kind of look to everything. This scene we see Yeren kind of looking really upset, and I personally believe that Yeren is kind of yearning to go back to being in the living world. She kind of misses being alive, and she knows that she's dead now. So Sowon comes over and she tries to comfort her about it, because at least they're together. The other girls seem to already be in line with this, as they're all dancing around and having a good time with each other. This shot of Yuju letting go of these balloons is probably supposed to be representative of her letting go of her life, and just giving up all of the struggle, the pain, the love, the good and the bad here. And she's just letting go of all of it to just be in this afterlife with her friends. Now, these next shots of Sinbi are kind of weird because she's running, she's going to open this door, she's going to open it up and see that there's Eunha in there. She finally finds her, and this is kind of weird because I feel like it doesn't make too much sense with my theory thus far. But I also think that perhaps this is just more symbolic of how her and Eunha were supposed to be very close, and she's gone on this kind of personal journey of her own to find her, alongside all the other members doing that as well. If you watch the music video, you'll see that everything's a lot darker now that all the girls are dead. All of them have the kind of same unhappy expressions on their face in this shot, and generally speaking, everything is just a lot darker tonally. We get one final shot of the girls running through a dark kind of thicket area, and I think this is supposed to be actually kind of like a flashback to how they originally found Eunha earlier when they initially came to this kind of limbo afterlife kind of thing. They had a lot more of a troubling journey to find her in the first place, and this is kind of just like a darker take on that. The final set of scenes in this video are callbacks to the earlier scenes in the video with all of the settings that the girls were in. We see Eumji's letters have stopped flying around. They are paused. I would say that's probably because Eumji's dead at this point. She's got her eyes closed in the background, as you can see as well. Yuju's flowers have wilted away at this point. We see the fish in the jar again. We get the empty road that Sinbi was walking on. And then the video finally ends with Eunha turning around and the rest of the girls not looking backwards with her. Now, this is where everything in my theory kind of gets jumbled, because you can look at it in a few different ways. The first way is that Eunha's looking back because she's sad that all of her friends had to come and do this because they missed her so much. And the second way is to say that Eunha's actually just imagining all of this, and her friends never actually came, but she's just imagining this because she needs that sort of support from them. Another way you could look at it is that all of these sort of feelings are reaching Eunha in the afterlife, and that all the girls are actually still alive as well. In any case, that's my long, lengthy explanation of what I think this video is supposed to be about. I'm sure there's a few holes here and there in my theory that somebody else can fill, or they can come up with an entirely different theory that works much better than mine. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I know this video is a little bit different than what I normally do. If you guys care for my actual review of this song, you guys can check that out on the website. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time.